What's up, guys? It is Connor from Rock Pokemon. Hoping you guys are having a great start to your week. Today's video, I wanted to talk about being a student of markets. I see a lot of folks hopping into Pokemon. Maybe they, had a history of it growing up, or maybe they, just newly found it in the past, decade or 5 years, or even the past 1 year, and just started, enjoying the hobby and seeing the prices as well, and just getting interested. And I think an important thing to note when we're talking about any market, right? If we take, Pokemon in itself as a place to potentially invest, right? That there are investment opportunities in this market. The best collectors and the best investors are students of markets, and not just their own market, but other markets, right? So here I have a few things in the collectibles realm. We obviously have sports. We've got this Champ Bailey signed rookie card, a little bit of Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, of course, Garbage Pail Kids, Harry Potter. And then you have, more traditional markets, stocks, bonds, real estate, things of that nature. Obviously Magic the Gathering, another great collectible market. Back in the day there was, Beanie Babies, of course, things like that. The Tulip Mania, another interesting market to study. And what's important to note is that all these markets have had different undulations. They've had different movements throughout time, and they've all had different and unique characteristics. And what I've noticed a lot today is someone will buy, a Pokemon card, and it'll, they'll buy it for $100, and then, a week later they'll see one sell for $125, and they think, oh, I'm an investor. I bought this, and now someone bought it for more than what I bought it for, so I got a really good deal. I bought something because it was undervalued. I'm going to make tons of money, yada, yada, yada. When it comes down to it, just because you bought something low and someone bought it for more than that does not make you an investor. Okay, so there are participants in markets, and then there are investors. And I think there's a few big differentiating factors, but one of the biggest things is that very successful investors are involved in markets for a decent chunk of time, a fairly significant amount of time, and they are continually studying that market and other markets before they make buying and selling decisions. So, the most successful investors in the world understand how their market and the way it is trending and the fundamentals associated with it, and then the technical things associated with it, like momentum and things of that nature, how all of those compare to other markets that we've seen in the past, and how to hopefully avoid mistakes that have been made in their own markets and other markets based on history. So what I think is really important is that if you are serious about Pokemon as an investment, we talked about in the first video that there may be a lot of areas that aren't quote unquote, investments in this hobby. But if that's your goal, to use this as a place to invest, to buy things that can see some sort of price appreciation and return on your money over time, you need to study this market and study other markets. And when I say that, I think it's important to note, me going on eBay and saying that I want to buy this Garbage Pail Kids card, and I go see, okay, it sold for $1 the other day, and then it sold for $1.50, and there's one listed for $1.25, so that's maybe decent, I'm gonna buy it. That doesn't mean I'm a student of the market. I didn't study much there. I just looked at price history and pressed the buy button. Being a student of the market means looking at the history of the market, the historical significance of certain items, the past successes and failures, the past bubbles and retraces, the market undulations over time, how participants have acted in that market, how many people there have been a part of that market, what the demand has been, what the supply has been, what's that look like over time. There are so many ways to actually take the time to study a market. Another thing I do, in Pokemon is, cards I might not be interested in ever buying, or product I might not be ever interested in buying, but tracking how much supply is coming online, what prices have been for that item lately, how it's been trending, understanding parts of the market in order to get a big picture for the entire constituent of the market. I think that's really important. It's important to look and understand and research the history of the market, the history of the hobby, right? The historical significance of items, the rarity of items, the scarcity of items, the mint nature and how many of those there are. It's extremely important to understand those things before you put a single dollar into that market. If you are solely looking at prices and buying items based off of emotion, that is not investing. I'm sorry. So it's very important to understand the market, understand, especially with collectibles, like things like this, like, the liquidity or the lack thereof, AKA how easy is it to buy and sell these items at any given point in history. Today's market, much higher level of liquidity for certain items than we've seen in the past with Pokemon. Understanding how efficient or inefficient a market is, meaning if I buy this card for $100 and then one sells tomorrow at auction for $75, or one sells at auction tomorrow for $125, that doesn't necessarily make an entire market. A last sold price doesn't make an entire market. It's understanding how there's significant price inefficiencies tied to the supply and demand mechanics, and that it's very important to look at the bigger picture and how these things trend over time. So I think that's really important to remember, is understanding supply and demand of specific items that you're interested in, seeing how the price action has trended over time, and realizing that one sale on eBay does not make for an entire market of a certain item. Because especially in collectibles, the price of this item is effectively what two people are willing to duke it out for at any single moment. And we see that a lot when people talk about the Charizard PSA 10 first editions that sell, and they say, the market's imploding or the market's exploding upward. But they don't take into account the fact that what was the time frame when that sale happened? How many bidders were there on that item? What did that price action and that bidding look like? And most importantly, what was the quality of the card? Was it a true 10, or, in this case, is this a true 8? Or did it maybe get some leniency, or maybe it has some great eye appeal, and maybe on that day that person just wanted that card at that price point more than another day. So I think it's really important to understand that, guys. And where I'll leave it off with this is that I want more than anything for you guys to be protecting yourselves, so that whether you're collecting for pure enjoyment, whether you're investing for the hope of a return over time, or you fall somewhere in between, know what you own, know what you're buying, and know the market that you're participating in, and study other markets and your own market in order to get a better framework for the decisions you're going to make today. Anyway, guys, I'm Connor from Rock Pokemon, and as always, collect what you love.